Fair, 4 o'clock.
All right.
Let's go to the regions.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does everybody have a chance to look at the minutes? I guess that's a no.
Make a motion to accept them.
Then,
Make the motion to accept.
okay. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Moving on. You're up.
I am going to ask if we
Okay.
can adjust the agenda to let Sherry go first as.
Yep.
So she can go over the transportation policy issue.
She's on the call, yes?
All right, so there were questions.
Yep. Oh, thanks. I thought you knew our questions.
Well, I'd rather have you ask them.
I didn't, if I remember right, from last month now. Pick up location 15 minutes prior until 15 minutes after.
Yeah.
But we'll only wait 5 minutes once it arrives, so. Is that a change?
That's not a change from the last time, no. It's that 5 minutes, that 30-minute pickup window, it has always been a 30-minute pickup window. That's not anything that changed. The 5-minute wait time isn't anything that changed. That was adopted from WRTA when we got the policies together. Basically, the only thing that we're changing is on the second page, when they would get like a letter of warning if they're getting a 2-day suspension. And the reason that we're kind of doing this is other senior centers, they've also kind of adopted the same thing. WRTA also calls for, if you look through their policies, through their non-fixed route rides, I guess, which is what we are, we're not fixed route. I guess it would be for the ADA transportation or non-ADA. So basically, we have a couple of repeat offenders who, one example, twice now she's canceled her ride within like an hour of what time she's supposed to be picked up because it's too bright outside. It's always silly reasons. I hurt my finger when I took out the trash, and it's always within an hour of when she's going to be picked up. It's never,
In a timely fashion.
yeah, right. So she could have a ride scheduled for, say, like a Friday morning, and she'll call Friday morning and say, I'm not going to go today. I haven't felt good all week.
Sure, let you know.
So, I mean, and I've talked to her on the phone before to say, listen, you know, if you're not feeling well, if you know you're not feeling well, it would be really beneficial if you call, because there's other people we're saying no because we don't have a spot. So that kind of brings me to like what our schedule looks like on a given day. So like we have our pickup, what time they pick the person up is here. And it is a ride share service. So a lot of times there may be more than one, up to 8 people on the van at a time. 8 people doesn't happen very often, but sometimes if, you know, they're going out to Worcester or something like that. So, and some of these people, and you'll notice some notes over on the side here, some people actually need to use the lift. Well, if they're using the lift, it can take a full 20 minutes from the time the driver gets there, drops the lift to the ground, person gets on the lift, we lift it back up, then they have to be put in their seat, buckled in, strapped in if it's a wheelchair, whatever. So it can take a full 20 minutes for that process to happen. So that's why it's just kind of a 5-minute wait time. If the driver shows up and someone's coming out the door, you know, and they're not right out at their pickup time, he's not going to drive away if he sees them. He'll wait till he gets out. We also have the policy where He waits he doesn't leave at the 5 minute mark. The 5 minutes is he waits 5 minutes. He calls the person. If they do not answer the phone, he then stays there, calls us.
Like a wellness check.
We'll ask him, wait another minute. We're going to try to call. If we don't get them, we then call the driver back and tell him to leave. So it's actually
Okay.
can be like 10 or
Yeah.
12 minutes that he's
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
waiting.
And people, except for that one example you gave us, people
Yes.
understand it and everything.
Yeah. So it's not 5 minutes and then he's just going to run away, even if he sees him coming. Oh, sorry. We do wait. And a lot of times that is if all those steps are taken, if someone doesn't come out for a scheduled ride, we're sending the police to do a wellness check because they have a scheduled ride that they called for. Just like in the senior center, there is a standard of independence that WRTA requests us to follow. And that is that they can get themselves on and off the van. If they can't, they're more than welcome to bring somebody with them. We just need to know so we know we have an available seat for said person. If they're buying groceries, it has to be what they carry. I have another person who likes to go to Lowe's and buy lumber. And then he expects the driver to help him to load onto the van and unload off the van. Years ago, we had a woman who wanted the driver to carry groceries into her house. That's a huge no-no. Any kind of accusation can be made. There are cameras on the van, so we can see if we think something may have happened or not have happened by accusation. We can call WRTA and have them check the cameras for us to make sure everything is on it. It's all really just a lot of it's liability. We need to make sure that things are okay and that's all. But it's not 5 minutes. We're not.
And I think that was your main.
Yeah, we're not.
Right, it was
You
just
won't
a few
leave
minutes,
after
15 minutes
You
here,
won't
15
leave
minutes
after
there.
Yeah, in the 15 minute on the early end, they can like 15 minutes early. Sometimes if somebody has canceled a ride, we'll call the driver, let them know, don't go pick this person up. They've canceled. If you want to call the next one, if they're going grocery shopping, see if they're ready. Maybe they want to go early,
Yeah.
which has happened
Okay, this
quite often.
communication.
Oh,
Oh,
throughout the
yes.
whole thing, yeah.
Yes.
Sherry and Christine are
Yeah.
on top.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Every
Yep.
single van
Okay,
driver and
great.
passenger that gets on our vans.
Yep. And the drivers are great.
Yeah.
We do. And a lot of those are for the drivers too. I have a driver who's don't go in, they are not supposed to go in driveways. He goes in driveways. And then he tells me everything that he's doing that he's not supposed to do that. So I just,
His kindness comes out.
yes. So I just go like this. I say, la, 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 what I don't know. So, but that's it. That's really all that is.
And I think the other one was, you want the 24-hour advance notice, totally understand that.
Yeah.
But you'll accept a 2-hour notice.
Yes. That I know. I reread that too, and I think that just came from again WRTA policy.
So if they have the first one in the morning, like was 8:15, they
Yeah.
have to let you know the day before.
Right. So if they should let us know a day before. I mean, if somebody gets sick overnight
Oh,
and they call, because there has been times
there
we'll
can be exceptions.
we'll have a 3:30 in the morning message on the phone from saying I'm really, really not feeling well. I can't make my ride. Because I check messages as soon as I come in the morning. So I get
Okay.
them before Christine is even here. So,
Okay. I think that was the only two that I had.
That was the two. That was
Yeah.
the big two.
Yeah.
And so Sherry wanted to come in and explain it because it just hearing it from someone who lives and breathes it every day makes the explanation easier. As I'm learning the
Yeah.
process, she can just off the tip of her lips and just explain
Like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
right.
Yeah.
And it's more just for, this is just something that I want to be able to send to it's too bright out or I hurt my
Right,
finger.
Right.
Person who's canceling when the van's on their way to
Right.
to pick them up.
Right.
Hey, don't laugh. We might be one of those someday.
I know. I mean, if you don't have anything, a policy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Complain.
And I mean, we've always had the policy. We did kind of let it get a little lax because everybody kind of fell in and kind of knew what they were supposed to do. But now we have a whole bunch of new people who like get mad at us if they can't get the ride right when they want it. And so it's a lot.
So you're gonna pass this out to all users?
Only if need be. When they get there, I believe,
In the packet.
I'm not sure if it says in the passenger packet or not. Not anymore.
Might be a good
I mean, if
idea.
it's
Yeah, I think it's.
if there's a repeat offender, I'll usually talk to them first just to say, we do have this policy that you should be aware of, whatever.
First thing, I think it'd be a good idea if they all had
Yeah,
up front.
I could, but then that's postage to 130 some odd passengers that we have regularly.
Oh,
We can maybe leave it in the van.
Yeah,
And then
that's
send them
true.
out.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then we have
good
to worry
idea.
about postage, cause
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they're getting in the van, it's like, hey.
Yeah.
We updated
That way-
a policy FYI, and then we'll know with the rides and
Yeah,
then.
I can absolutely do that.
yeah, that way when you want to say to them, hey, we have a policy.
Yeah.
You can give it,
Yes, yes. So, and we do, and like I said, there are like frequently asked, which goes over kind of the pickup window and when you should call and when you should cancel and yada yada. That jumped out of my head. The whole point just jumped right out of my head.
Oh, it gets better.
The welcome packet covers, the welcome packet
Yeah.
covers.
Oh, it's fine. Been a long day.
It has.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
You can obviously tell I'm a rookie here, but are we able to communicate with these people by email, or are they past the age?
Some of them, yes. Some we do. We do have a couple they make all their requests through email.
I'm just wondering if email, like for instance, what we're talking about here. and
Yeah,
we're
actually I could
posting
do
Do
that.
an email
We could
blast.
Do an
just-
attachment. Yep.
a
Yep.
blast and,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that.
I have one other question. It goes.
Yep.
It's just a question, I just saw it here. Oh, maybe I'm jumping ahead of where you are, but I see in here where it says grocery pickup. I don't understand what that is.
So for that specific person, he has he's our Lowe's guy. The one I just talked about. He buys and buys and buys and buys, and he expects the driver. And 9 times out of 10, the driver that happens to be driving that day is about 10 years older than he is.
Okay, now I understand. It makes sense. Okay.
So
A lot of sense.
he takes in, he pre-orders his groceries.
He is doing that now, yes.
All right, and then he brings them out. If he can carry.
They bring them out to the van, and they actually will load them onto the back of the van for him. But there has been instances where he has expected the driver to carry them from the van to his door.
Okay.
And at his property, I've been there is a very rickety
Yes.
ramp at the house. It's not safe for him,
No, it's not.
let alone our driver. And the driver's not supposed to leave the van
No.
unattended.
That's understandable. I know the destination, and it's not safe.
So that's all part of it too, as far as the you have to bring only what you can carry. We can't put the drivers at risk of falling on someone's property or being injured.
The driver
as well.
can't leave the van, the driver can't leave the van.
Right, and
Right.
Is that noted in the van?
It is, they do know, so they are told whenever Christine or myself talks to a new passenger, they are told of the policies, that they are gonna get them all in writing, that it is curb to curb, the driver can't come down the driveway. It's only what you can carry. And those are WRTA's rules, and we're under contract with them.
Yeah.
So there are rules, that I have to adhere to that are in here as well. So there's not really any of our own. So, yeah.
Anybody else have questions?
Make a motion that we accept the new van policy as presented.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Great job, thank you.
Thank you.
You. I am gonna take the schedules back though, because I can't have the addresses.
Why not?
But you can keep the policies.
Yeah.
Yes, take that back. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna run now because I have to go to eat and then go to job number 2.
All right, have a great night, thank you.
Have a nice day.
All right.
All right. So, also in the packet is the account balances as of today, so this is what is left in each of our buckets. The first bucket, the formula grant, the way it's divvied out is half up front, half, and then 6 months later, the other half. So I called the state today and found out that the second half is coming. So I know it's coming, so we'll have that money in, which will be great. And then the revolving accounts doing well. Utilities is low, but I've already broached the subject with Diane over at Town Hall, and I guess in May is when you have the ability to sort of take money out of the different buckets and move it around. So we do have money in the salary bucket. So we will be able to sort of move it around and cover our utilities.
Okay, good.
Programs is doing well, miscellaneous supplies, though, you can go all the way down. We are still waiting for the checks, the donations from the Clinton Home Foundation, but I know they'll come. It's just a matter of time. And even though the meal program is negative, the money that Brandy takes in when she does the meals on Tuesdays and Thursdays goes into our revolving account. So we're spending the money from the meal program bucket, but we're not putting anything back into it. That money goes into the revolving account. So that's why it might look a little flip-flop, but our revolving account, as you can see, is still pretty strong at over $5,000, and that's money, even when the budget flips over, we get to keep, because it's money that we earned. And then I did print out the director's updates for you all, and I will kind of go through them. We went through the transportation policy. Before Deb left, she started a veterans flag program to order a flag to be placed on one of the sort of flag hangers out in the front for Memorial Day and Veterans Day. So we have about 30 ordered. They're ready. I went down to Dollar Tree and bought all the hanger things because we more economical. But they're set and ready to go. The carriage house, we are still waiting to hear back from the permanent building committee. The last time that I left you guys, I was going to be meeting with them on a Tuesday night, went to their meeting. The new quote, which really was a quote from January, so it wasn't like it was new, it's there. Before we came, I've left a couple of messages for Mike, emails, and then night before we came in, left another message. So I hopefully will get an answer, and
Is there any logical
this moving.
reason why they're dragging their heels?
I don't know. I don't know if they're waiting. Maybe it's on us for waiting to see if we have the money for the contingencies, but I know the architect wants an answer. We want an answer. The building committee meets once or twice a month, and I know that they've got a lot going on with the library, with the middle school.
Isn't this basically a yes or no?
That's what I believe, but there could be more to it. That's why I've put in a couple of emails to Mike and also have CC'd a couple of the members of the permanent building committee just to see if I can get just some sort of answer or action list. What else do we have to do? Because they know you all voted on it. That was presented at that meeting. So they know that you're in favor of the money and willing to spend it.
Can I? You know, I have a vested interest
Right.
in this situation. Excuse me, some folks I work with. Is it a problem? And it probably is. If I talk to Mike, I don't have much of a problem. Nothing,
at-
and we have a great relationship.
If you, I mean, honestly, I don't feel like you'd be overstepping for me. You're a member of the board and you have a
We give the
question about it.
authorization, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, for me, my push is I want to have this up and running because we have crowded rooms upstairs with fitness programs. There are other things we'd like to use the carriage house for, you know, now it's summer. You know, we'd love to have more activities out there. So any sort of contact, meeting, casual conversation, if there's 4 things that have to be done to get it done, if I know them, I'll get them done.
No, I think we should merely move on it quickly because Michael is retiring.
Right.
Right?
Well, that's, I think, part of it.
I think
A little bit too. I
big
think
issue.
he's got a lot on his plate. So whereas before he might have had 40 things, he probably now has 97 things. And
But if we
trying
don't move, we're gonna have to wait until we get a new town.
well, hopefully
That's my
not.
fear.
I mean,
Prices will keep going.
Yeah,
right. So that's why we want to lock it in. Like if we can at least lock in the quote,
Right.
because, and that's with just the way the world is rolling. It's locking in the quote. Like if we know we have to wait another month or 2 before we break ground, it's not ideal, but at least we know it's locked in and we have a date and we can start. So, yeah, if you want
So, Joe, if you do talk to him, just keep us all informed.
Oh, absolutely. Anything that.
Yes,
obviously, because-
Yeah.
yeah, keep it documented.
because he might be waiting for something too. So it could just, you know, but hopefully we can find some sort of
But I
answer.
have another board that I answer to.
Yes.
That donated $20,000.
Right.
Right, of
Right.
course, yeah.
Upfront.
And it's your money and you want to know where it's
Every
being
once
spent.
a month at that meeting, it's just that,
Yeah.
how's it going? You know, so
Yeah,
that's
no.
why I feel I could, and I have talked to Mike about it before, so, and I will keep everybody informed.
Yeah, I think it's great. So far for the contents of the carriage house, we've sold $575 worth of items.
wow.
So, which is great. So we'll keep going.
How did you do that?
Facebook Marketplace, the woman who's helping me is posting it on, you know, her site and she's just getting people interested and coming over and, you know, making the purchase here. And that's about it. So
Very good.
it's been great. And even, you know, if another thing doesn't get sold, it's all organized. So if we needed to move some stuff out or have someone come and pick it up, it's organized. You don't have to pick through anything. She's gone through everything, gotten rid of anything that is sort of trash, garbage. And things are organized into like videos, books, plates, platters, electronics. So it's easy to go in.
Curiosity, what has been sold?
We've sold a couch, we've sold a couple of chairs, we've sold 2 tables and chairs, we've sold 3 computers, we've sold quilting squares that were in there, and then some of the teapots.
Does that
Excellent.
delete a revolving account?
It will all go to the angels.
Okay.
And then the
All right.
angels in
Good.
turn
Yeah.
will give the money
Right.
back to the carriage
Okay.
house. Because I can't
Right.
fundraise and I can't touch it. And then technology, we ended up purchasing a Microsoft license for 5, a family license. We had a couple of our computers sort of stop working. So as we're waiting to get the software system from the town, we're sort of making sure that all staff can continue to just sort of plug away and move forward. I've been able to get Donna a printer so she can print from the front desk, which is extremely helpful. So she doesn't have to walk up and down the stairs. And Deb's getting a new monitor. It will help her because she's doing multiple things at once. And so Dave has been great helping us out with that. On Facebook for the last 26 days, we've been able to garner 56,000 views. We've reached 5,600 and we've had 810 interactions. So that's pretty good. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you are on Facebook or Instagram, you know, Deb, myself, Trisha, we're posting on a regular basis. And we just want to get the word out. The Clinton Home Foundation is just, we're just waiting to
Can I
get,
just ask,
Yeah.
how costly is Facebook?
it's free. So we're not
I
spending
like
a
it.
cent, yeah. So we're not spending anything, which is great. So we're not boosting ads, we're not doing anything. We're just putting out fresh content every day, posting pictures, things that are interesting, um, advice, things that we've heard, and just making sure that our seniors know
And
what's
how many
happening.
click-throughs again? I know you just.
We had, we reached 5,000 and then 810 click-throughs,
Okay,
which is a great number. So,
yes, it is.
so we're very happy about that. And like I said, Deb, our outreach corner, Deb Weatherby, has been really great with that. Growing Places, Polly, who is our volunteer, has been running that. We have 40 beds that have been accounted for. She's solidifying all the names and asking. It was the people who had part of it last year got to choose their beds. The new folks now have chosen their beds, so by the end of the week we'll have the names, and we already have what we're going to put the names on and the lamination sheet ready, and we'll get them up and out. So hopefully that can be done by the end of this week. We were going to have a staff picture tomorrow, but it has been rescheduled. We had elevator repair maintenance on Tuesday, and we passed for another year, which is great. A little loud. They kept ringing the fire alarm, which I wasn't aware of. So now we know for next year, if we can schedule it late in the afternoon, we will. Oh my gosh. It was something new. And then one of our new volunteers, Janie, is taking over the flower beds on the Clinton Council on Aging sign out front and the flagpole, and she's putting flowers in there, and
Nice.
she's going to be refreshing them and just keeping them watered, trimmed, and just making it look really nice, which is awesome. We have a Walgreens vaccination clinic on May 14th. It's you pre-register, but there is vaccines for COVID, pneumococcal, shingles, DTaP, and RSV, and that has definitely, we have a lot of people coming. It's 9 to 12. So we've got a wide window, and Walgreens has been really great. Another, finding my things, I want to make sure. We have on May 6th, it is with Integrity. It's Medicare updates, it's a lunch and learn, so pizza will be provided, which will be fantastic. And then we have arranged with Wheat for the first Tuesday of the month for seniors to be able to be taken by the van curb to curb and go to the food pantry. So that will be a free service to our seniors. So the first Tuesday of the month, they can sign up for the van, drive over to Wheat, go through the food pantry, and it's sort of the same thing. The same rules apply, that whatever you can carry, because we can't help carry on and off. So whatever can be carried, they can bring on to the van, and they'll be dropped off at their home. So it's a nice bonus.
Can
for
you
us
just
seniors.
step back a minute? Integrity, would you repeat that for?
Oh, absolutely. That is May 6th. It's a Tuesday. It's a lunch and learn.
About health?
Medicare and the
Okay.
changes in Medicare and how it could affect seniors.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Sorry if I go too fast. I'll give you my sheet if you want, Claire.
That's all right.
And thank you for approving the transportation policy. I wanted to give a shout out to transportation. In March, we had 417 trips, which is 100 more than February and January, which each had 314. And the next highest that we had was last July with 362 rides. So the van is very popular, and the way that Christine and Sherry are running it and overseeing it, and our van drivers, it's a really popular perk that we have here for our seniors. On May 7th, the Mass Council on Aging is having their spring symposium. I'm going to send Trisha, Deb, and Sherry. It's at Holy Cross. They're going to go for the day. There are 2 sessions in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and a lunch. They'll be able to network and talk to people. And, Sherry and Trisha and Deb would be a great opportunity for all 3 of them to go and mingle. I'll go to the next one. There are like specific director ones, and I just want the staff to really be able to partake in a lot of these information sessions and networking. I think it's so important. The update from the Angels, I went to their April 14th meeting and we talked about the carriage house and different ways, if they wanted to, donate and what was happening, what's going on here and trips that are being scheduled. And the Angels are having a fundraiser on May 6th at the Dairy Queen in West Boylston from 5 to 8, and 10% of the proceeds go to the Angels, which is,
Do you have to say you're there for them for that to happen?
I am not sure. Usually
that
you,
question?
you
Do you
do.
have to say you're there for them?
No.
No, I
No.
think it's the whole night. I think
Yeah.
it's the whole night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's specified hours they do it. 'cause
5 to
I-
8. Yeah, 'cause
I-
they're 5 to
Yeah, I
8.
went over there last year.
Because some
After golf.
places say when you come in, I'm doing this I'm like my donation to go to Henry.
No, it
Right.
didn't have to
They,
last year.
that's very, very
Yeah,
good.
that's
That's
nice.
nice.
Yeah, so-
It opens up the whole night.
Especially if it's a beautiful night out,
Yeah.
you can
I
really.
went over after golf and it worked out really well.
Good.
And it got a big crowd last year.
So we're gonna
Very
keep
popular
advertising
place.
Yeah.
for them.
Good.
And then the Friends update, I have talked to Sue Duffy, who was in charge of the Friends, and they are very willing to come back and be part of the senior center. They
Excellent.
love fundraising for us. They love being a part of it. I've talked to Sue a couple of times, and I'm excited to see how we can move forward
Great.
Very
with
good.
them. So that is a big plus. So I'm very happy about that. Our one pager brochure has been translated into Portuguese through Lisa's contact, which was wonderful. And we have our Spanish teacher translating it into Spanish now. So we should have it by the end of the week, which will be fantastic. And then we can start posting it on Facebook and getting it out in some of the local churches, down at the outreach center at the school, and just let folks know that we're here. We were going to have the event with the Historical Society in June, have an open house here, but we have that week, we have a lunch and learn already scheduled, and then our volunteer appreciation. And I just think for the staff, it would just be too long of a week. And I'd rather have, when we don't have anything else going on, and really be able to have us all bright and not exhausted from a week of events. And so, and everyone, Terry was fine with that. We're meeting with Mark McMinn on Friday to do a social security kind of blurb to put up on YouTube to sort of do the first one to see how it goes, see how it's received. And then we can go from there with, Mark had a great idea of reading the newsletter, just what's happening, the events. So we're going to start with this, see how it goes, what really goes into it, and how Deb and I do on camera, mostly Deb, but
Getting to be purple.
yeah, mostly Deb though. And then today, wonderful news, Deb Weatherby and I were both sworn in as notary publics. We have all of our stamps, embossers, seals, so
Saw
we,
it on
yeah,
Facebook.
we posted that. And we will be free for, Clinton seniors will get preference as they're here, but we're available for all the citizens of Clinton, no charge. And so we hope to be able to bring that service and have people use it and be a resource. I didn't include them in, but the grants came out from the Mass Council on Aging, the service incentive grants. So as a COA, we can apply for 3, and we are probably going to apply for the nutrition, the outreach, and the transportation grant. I can forward this all on to you so you can see. There is a grant information session for those that are bidding on April 30th, so I'm already signed up for that. And we definitely think the one for outreach, we want to use it for the sort of the caring of feet. We'd like to bring in a nurse or a doctor to come in and help our community with cutting toenails, massages, any sort of foot issue. But for what we've found is that it's a full cost session. It's not anything that, somebody who has the license really should be doing for free anyways, but also they don't take insurance. So we want to sort of put together something to see if we could at least do it for a year. And then at that point, maybe we can work with other council on agings and maybe group together. So even if there is a copay, it's not $60, it might be $30, which is a little bit more affordable. And the one that we've been reaching out to, they not only do like the cutting of the toenails, but they massage the foot, the leg. They sort of do an overall half-hour workup. So it's definitely worth the money. But that's one thing. And then another thing that we want to do with nutrition is continue with the successful program that Brandy O'Toole has been doing, the Cooking for One, and try to see if we can expand that. And I mentioned, I think in the last meeting, trying to build out the pantry downstairs or build out a space for the pantry so that Brandy could order more non-perishable items and we could sort of keep things down there that have a longer shelf life instead of ordering once a week and going to Hannaford constantly, which Hannaford's been great. Like, we are so lucky that we have a grocery store nearby that, works with us. But we also have a budget and we're feeding more and more. So we need to make sure that we can spread it out. So that's that grant, and I will keep you up to date on that. And in tune with that, I also was able to attend 2 grant writing seminars. So they were each 3 hours long, but they were really informative. We got all the slides. It was with all other, directors and assistant directors across the state from Council on Aging. So it was a great networking opportunity as well. So that was really just so important. I'm very glad that I was able to attend that. And let me see. A lot of information. The formula grant, we just got word that normally it's $15 a senior. In FY26, it will go up to $16 a senior. And we have, I think, 3,400 seniors as of 2025 in Clinton. So that will be a nice little bump for the grant amount that we get. So we will definitely be able to use that money. I asked you guys to sign the warrant. I talked about the outreach. We've been doing a lot with policies and procedures and getting things documented and sort of keeping a paper trail with each other just so we all know what's going on. We're all informed. One of the things, Sherry implemented a new policy for the newsletter, where as we go through our different items, we check off certain areas so we're not missing anything. And I think I told you last month that Sherry had revamped the calendar. And so for May, the calendar is bigger, so you can write on it, you can take notes, and we really like the look of it. But we also have printed out 1-pager calendars, because we also know people like to hang the 1-pager on the refrigerator. So we have the options, but this was a nice look. And I'm really, really excited about the new newsletter.
Laura,
Yes.
can you just explain a little bit about the formula grant? From where?
The formula grant comes from the state, and we are allocated a certain amount of money per senior. And it comes on a yearly basis, and the payments are usually divided into 2 equal parts. And so we can use it for certain things. We can use it for things for our volunteers. We can use it to pay instructors. But like it has a certain parameters of how it can be used. But it's an automatic thing that we don't have to apply for. We do have to do an annual report each year to report our numbers.
That's what I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you.
So there is sort of so there's an annual report each year, which we just finished. And it's, as you know, a lot of it, we are very lucky with having the program at Senior Center, because Mass Council on Aging uses that as well, and it can just pull in all the numbers. So there are a couple of narrative questions that you had to answer. What do you see as innovations that you made? What do you see as needs? What do you see as, innovation needs, and then where you're falling short? And so you answer all those questions and you're able to sort of get your grant for the next year.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's learning a lot, but there's a lot of interesting things that are going on. On Wednesday, April 30th, we have 4 of our seniors, Alan Pierce, Pat Taylor, Luann Joyce, and Liz Newman. They're part of the senior solvers, and they're going to be over at Bigelow Library competing in the puzzle contest. So if you,
They have T-shirts.
they have T-shirts.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they say senior solvers. Brandy made them. They're going to be awesome. We got some pom poms, so we're gonna.
Nice.
So if you want to make a placard and go down to the library and
Right.
cheer them on.
The CPR recertification, myself and Deb, my certification runs out in May, and Deb's Weatherby's is expiring too. The police station has been really generous, and they have done our recertifications for us, so the rest of the staff is recertified in October 2024, and I've already talked to one of the officers. We've been in touch, and he is on vacation for a couple of days this week, but we're going to circle back and we'll do it within the next couple of weeks so that the whole staff, like I'm still certified. It doesn't run out till the end of May, but it will all be current and certified with CPR and first aid. We've had a couple of programs. Our art program is back with Sharon Marini, and it's 6 weeks, 2 weeks off, 6 weeks, 2 weeks off. That's been really popular. We had an Aging Gracefully program yesterday from UMass of sort of explaining to our community about wellness, sort of how to fall, and it was pretty well populated. And Brandy provided the lunch and they provided the dessert, so it was a nice way to sort of collaborate with another partner. Brandy, our food service manager, and Trisha, our program coordinator, put together the charcuterie board program for the Wild Women. You know, Brandy was just amazing with what she put together, and her and Trisha really were a great team that day, and just really presented a wonderful program. There was like 22 or
It was
23
pretty
of you
good.
there.
Yeah,
It was
there's
really,
a group of us.
and everyone went home with a little packet of
Starter
goodies to
kit.
make their own starter
Kit.
kit. It's like the
Yep.
bread dough starter kit.
Yeah, I
and
gave
it-
that
learned-
as a gift to the nursing home.
We
yeah,
learned how to make roses out of
Yeah,
salami
salami.
and pastrami.
Yeah, it's cool.
which was really
Would come in
cool.
handy.
Yes.
And then we had our monthly veterans breakfast in April. We had 37 registered veterans, and it went off really well. Like it's just a really fun morning on the third Friday of the month. So if you're a veterans, call us and sign up.
I
We'd
can
love to have you.
attest to that.
Yeah.
It's well attended and well appreciated, so.
It's just a wonderful morning. It's a wonderful morning of giving back to people who have given to us. So I said the great puzzle race. Claire had brought up something with me before, young adults helping out others, the Yahoo program. And so I think Deb Weatherby and I have been trying to figure out a way that we can work with the high school students, because they're always looking for volunteer hours for National Honor Society. So I
see the sign up in Sterling.
the young adults, helping. So it's like raking leaves,
Okay.
work around the house, anything like going to the grocery store, reading, it could probably be anything, but I want to start to look into it more, because if there was a definite solid program that was out there that the
Used to be
students could sign up for.
The Excel Club.
Right. So we will see where that goes, but that is, I believe, the update for now on what we've been doing up here for the last month.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Busy.
It's been great. The staff has been awesome.
Right.
Our senior community has been awesome. It's been nice seeing people walk through now that it's, sunny out. We have people sitting outside. So,
Any word on trips? I've been asked, my sister-in-law, in fact.
oh, yes.
Any trips?
We are hoping, Trisha has been working with Diamond Tours and talking to them. I know we have the Hampton Beach trip. I believe it's going to be June 18th, a day trip. The main thing was buses,
Yeah.
but we're have gotten, reassurance from, the Angels that, they're willing to help out. And we're hoping if we can kind of consolidate with the bus, the event, and a lunch, the price will come out that it will work out, that it's not too high.
Now, last year, before you came on board,
Mhm.
Trish and the director, or whoever it is over in Bolton, supposedly had a whole schedule for this year of various trips, day trips.
Not sure what happened to that. I can ask Trish. I also know what Bolton's going through right now, so.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
I think they're having an over, so they're trying to, they're having a town vote and to see what's gonna stay.
Oh, that's why their signs are saying vote for this, vote for
Mhm.
seniors, vote for
Vote
schools.
for schools, parks and rec, I think is affected as well.
But supposedly they had the schedule on, yes, each month was gonna
Yeah.
be something.
I will follow around with Trisha. I know we have talked about it. I know she's putting together some different things. I think we're gonna see how the art trip goes.
Mhm.
Because that, I think, they leave on Sunday.
Yeah, I know it was this month. okay.
Yeah, so we'll see, I think, how that goes, and then from there, we could we will schedule more. I think a lot of it was, the buses. The
Yeah, the
buses, the
cost.
cost of the buses is just
Yeah.
crushing. But hopefully it'll come down a little bit and, but we also know that it's something that our seniors like to do. So if we have,
Nice to get, yeah. better times
money,
back.
and that's, with having some money in programs, we can book some things in advance,
Mhm.
get the invoices in, get them paid. And so at least we have them and we're set and the dates are set. So I know that's a priority, is getting the trips back, because we know that's a favorite.
Sure.
The Hanover Theater, we just went to the last one, Come From Away, and they had not tons, but I'd say 6 or 7 senior buses outside.
Mhm.
So I know they do a generous ticket reduction.
Yeah.
If we could get a reasonably priced bus,
Right.
they have some really good
Good
shows
shows,
coming
yes, they
Oh,
next
do.
year.
Yep.
And it's cheaper than going to Boston.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot closer too.
For transportation reasons, And even if we couldn't get a full bus, if we could get, I know they talked about this once before, the WRTA vans can't run at night.
Right.
But if we could find a van that could go at night, would take people.
But even matinees.
Yeah. Well, they only do Sunday matinees,
Okay.
but they do Friday, Saturday. Yeah, Friday and Saturday and Sunday shows. They only have 5 shows for next season though.
Well, I wrote it down and I will ask Trish to look into it. So she will.
Isn't there also a program up in Groton somewhere? I'm not sure what it's not, it's I don't know if it's an outdoor or an indoor theater
Oh,
type
that
thing.
theater.
It does a lot
I
of music.
believe.
Oh, yeah, I've heard the
Rotten Hill.
Rotten Hills, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even Fruitlands.
Oh, yeah, they have
That's
stuff all
like-
summer.
Right. It's honestly, it's the buses. Like
Yeah.
the buses just negate almost. It's too much to run, But we're trying to get creative and sort of do some bundling. And I know she does have, I'm not sure the date, but she does have a bus trip planned to the Newport Playhouse for a play. So I know that that's in the works. So that, the Hampton Beach trip, and I know there are more to come.
What does an average bus with an average number of people, do you have an idea? of what it costs?
It's honestly, like, if you get a motor coach, I mean, a school bus, but you can't no one wants to ride on a school bus.
You need bathrooms.
You need bathrooms, and so it can be anywhere from 1,200 to 3,000. It depends on how far you're going, the duration of the trip, the mileage. So, and it used to be that buses were so much more affordable. I mean, I know, like, even with the schools trying to plan the field trips, I mean, the buses, the PTA is, raising all this money, and, to pay for buses.
So maybe an average, to throw it out, couple $1,000
Yes.
anyway.
At least like $1,200 to $1,500 per bus
So it
trip.
doesn't matter how many people are on it.
No, if they can be 5 people or it can
Yeah.
be chalked to the gills,
So,
and
That's
once you
fine.
rent it, you rent it.
And it's the duration of the trip because the driver gets paid per hour.
that's right, yeah.
And then they have to have, if it's a certain amount of hours, they have to have a break.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so it's worth its money. You know what I mean? To get people there and have people all in one place. It's just unfortunate that, we can't just buy a bus, and maybe I'll do that with the extra. Get my bus license,
There's somebody out there who hears us, we could use a bus
right?
and a licensed driver.
There we go. We'll park it along Cherry Street and,
Oh,
Everyone get on.
The senior center party bus.
There you go.
Flashing lights.
What could go wrong?
But thank you for letting me, oh, and then I did, just a staff opportunity, if I would like to, sort of not do a staff retreat, but something, a staff self-care, wellness sort of day of just us being together and kind of bonding, so do it maybe on a day that's slower in the summer, see if we can close half day, and, you know, we're here, I feel like we're working very cohesively together, we're communicating. It's been really great, and I would like to kind of
I would think.
not
the summer
reward,
months-
but
Yeah.
just sort of do something together,
Mhm.
whether it's a retreat, an outing, but something staff appreciation, something just to show them that, you know, I'm grateful for the work that they put in.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't see a problem.
I'll get more details, but I just wanted to ask you before I started the ball rolling.
I think anybody that comes here and uses the center for its activities would appreciate a day like that or an afternoon like
Mhm.
that for the staff. Because they go above and beyond.
Should we have a vote on that?
Well, I'll present something
Okay,
formal
later.
and maybe I'll have like 3 different options
Okay.
and different dates to see what works out best,
Mhm.
and then we can go from there.
Yeah, since you'd be closing the place. I think we'd have to have a
Yeah.
vote.
Right.
Mm.
So I'll get a definite date and, you know, I'd like to take them down to Praise Wellness and do just an afternoon of sound bath and healing.
Hmm.
It's really, but it is.
It's not my cup of tea.
What is it?
Sound bath, so it's the sound bowls and they make,
Hmm.
you know, just these lovely sounds, and it's the Reiki healing and the touch and just the words of affirmation, there's breathing, and you just relax into it, and it's just very comforting, soothing, sort of self-healing, and I don't think we do a lot of self-care.
Where is this?
Praise Wellness in Lancaster.
Yeah.
And, you know, their Liddy is great, so. Little advertisement for Praise Wellness.
There you
go. Stephanie goes there too, yeah.
Do they have afternoon, do they have senior
They
citizen?
They do. They have morning things. They're expanding their programming. They do so many different styles of yoga and movement for all ages. I feel like their pricing is really affordable. It's so great for the mind and the soul, and we don't do enough to clean
That
out
might
our.
be an interesting program to have her come in and just explain to, like a wild woman afternoon.
Right.
Come in and
Right,
explain it.
I wonder if that's, the Wild Woman has mentioned spa as their next.
I think that's their next thing. I'm not sure what Trish has planned, but
Right.
you never
Right.
know.
But, you know, if that would be, I mean, to me, that's informative. And if it, I'm sure there are a lot of other seniors that would be interested, just to find out what's available and what's out there. And like, it's not Sheila's cup of tea, I don't know if it would be mine, but we might have a few souls here that would be interested.
Oh, I'm sure there's many.
Yes.
Now, my daughter-in-law loves it.
Yeah, Stephanie is so into it, and it just changes who you are. You just look at things differently.
Yeah, look at
Calmer.
her now.
Yeah, right.
Stephanie.
Stephanie's she's so easy to get along with.
Is
But
this a weekly thing or is it, you just casually?
they have different sessions every day, from like bar to somatic yoga to the sound healing to meditation. They have other services there as well. And
It's in Lancaster.
it's right across almost from the Cumberland Farms and where the bank hometown is.
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's right in there.
I have a question.
Yes.
No, Henry, you cannot.
Yes, he can. No, mango.
But they might have gentlemen's night.
One of my birthday ladies
Mm-hmm.
asked me if I know where she can get rid of a ripped flag.
You know what? I'll ask Brendan Bailey because I'm sure there's some sort of service, and
I can answer that. Brian Farragut takes them all and the facilities burn them. He's the facilities manager for the town because my brother Richard's flag was flying up at the fields. And he just asked us what we wanted to do with it. They were going to take it down. And we could either have it back or he would put it in with the other flags that they are getting ready to burn.
That
So
is,
what, would you bring it to him?
Yeah, you give it to Brian or somebody in town must collect them. But they burn, Brian said that the facilities people were gonna burn them.
I think the Boy Scouts also have a program, and we have a relationship with it. So
if you want to ask, I have Brian's number right here, so I can give you Brian's number. Henry, if you
Because I told her I'd get back to her.
yes, well, then.
Your role is expanding from happy birthday.
Right?
They asked me, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, we're lucky to have you.
That's Brian's phone number. You're very welcome. And that's all I have.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second,
All right. All in favor?
Hi.
aye.